Welcome back. This is Let's Make a Game. Now, last video I told you that I was going to start to talk about how to edit pictures, but after saying that, I found a new website that might be useful for creating images. So I'm going to do one more video on creating images. And the website in question is images.ai. That's images.ai. I will put a link in the description of this video. And the way it works is that it is a text prompt. You have a field here and you put in whatever you want. I'm not gonna generate a picture live because it actually takes a little bit of time and it would stretch the video out too much. But I will show you some ones that I've already made. So you put in your text prompt. It's very simple, a wizard or something, whatever it may be, and then you have to pick what they call a recipe. And these pictures below here are recipes. And effectively what that does is it will add other text to your prompt and so tend to create results in a particular style. So that one's meant to look like the Grand Theft Auto artwork. That one's meant to look like an old sort of Polaroid photo, and so on. Now, I haven't looked at every single one of these recipes. Unfortunately, you can't choose not to have a recipe. I would have liked to have the option of just entering the text, but they don't seem to give you that. I will tell you a couple that are pretty good that I've found. I have looked at some of them. The what's it called? No, creatures. That's right. The creatures recipe is pretty good, but it turns everything into a monster. I generated this by this particular one. It actually generates 4 at a time. I just put Cthulhu was the single word that I put in there, and it generated those. The problem with this recipe is it sort of turns everything into a monster. I put fantasy elf, I think, into that, and it created basically just a monster that sort of had pointy ears. It didn't really look like an elf, but creatures is quite a good filter, and dreamy can be quite good as well. That one there. I created this set of 4 by just putting in Cthulhu and dreamy. Normally you would put in longer prompts than that. People that make a lot of these pieces of art usually put in longer and longer prompts because they find that that's a way that you can sort of hone in on what you're trying to do. So you may find that with experimentation you can sort of do longer prompts and get better results, and perhaps the creatures filter doesn't always look like a monster if you put in enough detail. But I've only just come across this website, so I don't know. But certainly I think that's pretty cool. It gives you results that are smaller than the other ones, but for most purposes, I mean, if that was a monster in a game or a location or something that you went to, I think that would be big enough for most purposes. It is free. After a while, it'll ask for your email address, but it doesn't cost any money, and there doesn't seem to be any limit, or if there is a limit, it's pretty high anyway. And that's really all I have to say about that website. I will make a general point, and that is that good AI art is new. It's really only a few months old, and companies haven't worked out the best model for making money with it, or even if there is a model for making money with it. And so websites tend to A, come and go, and B, sort of change their terms of service, add in that you have to pay for this, or add new features or whatever very, very quickly. So if you're looking at this sort of quite a bit later than when I posted it, like check the site for yourself. Make sure it hasn't changed, because this is a sort of rapidly changing area of the internet, and it will be, until things settle down. I'd also reiterate this one I think uses the stable diffusion model, and so people who have an ethical problem with stable diffusion because it uses people's artwork without those people's permission to train the algorithm on, well, this site has the same problem. So that might be something that's relevant to some of you. And of course, I'd also reiterate that while the Copyright Office has said that they think that AI-generated art is public domain, it is a new area, and I don't think there's really been any significant court cases that have general application. So, again, that may change. So if you're looking at this several months after I posted it, again, the information might be out of date. I mean, you shouldn't take legal advice from YouTube videos anyway, but it's a rapidly changing area. But anyway, so that's images.ai. As I said, I'll put a link to it in the description, and next video I will keep my promise and we'll start to learn how to edit and manipulate these pictures. And I hope that you will tune in then.